understanding different types of Scorpio and psychology behind them. Everyone thinks Scorpio is secretive, mysterious, hard to read. But that's only because you're not supposed to be easy to understand. You don't reveal, you evolve. Every emotion, every loss, every silence becomes part of your transformation. You don't just feel deeply, you transmute feeling into understanding. Neuroscience even backs this up. The emotional center of your brain, the amygdala, is wired to react faster and stronger than most, making you instinctively aware of what's real and what's false. You can feel truth before it's spoken. But not every Scorpio experiences that depth the same way. There are 3 kinds, each ruled by a different force: Pluto, Neptune, and the Moon. One transforms emotion into power, one turns pain into empathy, and one finds peace through love itself. This isn't about mystery. This is about the psychology of transformation and how your mind was designed to rebuild itself stronger every single time. Core archetype, the Scorpio mind. Let's start with what makes the Scorpio mind so different. Scorpio is fixed water, ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation, death, and rebirth. It's not about endings, it's about evolution. You don't just feel emotion, you metabolize it. Every experience, good or bad, becomes fuel for reinvention. In psychology, this maps directly to trauma integration, the ability to confront pain instead of repressing it. Where other signs might avoid intensity, you walk straight into it. Your psyche doesn't run from darkness. It studies it until it understands how to turn it into light. Neuroscience gives this depth a physical explanation. The amygdala, your brain's emotional processor, and the prefrontal cortex, your center for reasoning, have unusually strong communication loops in people who show high emotional intelligence. That means your emotional reactions don't just happen. You analyze them. You feel, decode, and adapt all at once. This is also tied to dopamine regulation, which governs motivation and meaning. Scorpio's mind doesn't chase pleasure, it chases purpose. That's why surface-level things rarely satisfy you. Your brain literally lights up more when there's risk, mystery, or emotional truth involved. But that intensity has 2 faces. The same instinct that gives you focus can make you protective, even secretive, when you sense emotional threat. You close off, not because you don't care, but because you care too deeply. It's emotional self-defense disguised as detachment. The gift of Scorpio is transformation through awareness. You're here to learn that real power isn't about control, it's about consciousness. You don't conquer emotion by suppressing it. You master it by understanding it. At your core, you're the psychological alchemist of the Zodiac, the one who proves that the deepest emotions, when faced instead of feared, become the strongest source of wisdom. First, Decan Scorpio, the transformer. If you're a first Decan Scorpio, born between October 23 and November 1, your soul is ruled fully by Pluto, the planet of transformation and deep truth. You're the Scorpio who sees beneath the surface of everything. You don't just notice energy, you feel it shift. It's why people rarely get away with pretending around you. Your intuition isn't mystical, it's psychological. You're wired to pick up on what's hidden, especially emotional tension. Psychologically, this reflects shadow work, the process of confronting the unconscious parts of the self. Carl Jung wrote that, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That's your instinct. You don't fear darkness. You analyze it until it becomes information. Neuroscience gives this intensity a foundation. Studies on emotional resilience show that people who revisit and reinterpret painful experiences develop stronger neural pathways between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. That means you don't just feel deeply, your brain actually learns from pain faster. You're built for psychological evolution. But this power has a cost. Because you sense everything, you can become hyper-aware of threat or betrayal. The instinct to control or withdraw is your brain's way of maintaining safety. It's not manipulation, it's management. The lesson is learning to separate observation from absorption. When you master that, Your intuition becomes your greatest strength, not your cage. You turn fear into focus, pain into purpose, and endings into beginnings. You are the transformer Scorpio, the one who doesn't just endure change, but initiates it. You burn to rebuild. You dive where others hesitate. And through every descent, you remind the world that transformation isn't destruction. It's rebirth in motion. Second decan Scorpio, the mystic. If you're a second decan Scorpio, born between November 2 and November 11, your soul carries the vibration of Neptune, the planet of dreams, intuition, and transcendence. You're the mystic Scorpio, the empath, the visionary, the one who turns pain into art and emotion into wisdom. Where the first decan learned to transform through will, you evolve through surrender. You don't dominate energy, you merge with it. In psychology, this mirrors empathic imagination, the ability to emotionally simulate another person's experience. You don't just understand feelings, you absorb them. That's why you can read someone's tone and know what they're not saying. Neuroscience connects this to the mirror neuron network and limbic resonance. When your emotional brain syncs with someone else's, it's not fantasy, it's biology. Your nervous system literally mirrors emotional states, which is why you can walk into a room and feel its atmosphere instantly. But Neptune's gift comes with fog. When you sense everything, boundaries blur. You might confuse empathy with responsibility, thinking you have to heal every wound you touch. That's compassion turning into exhaustion, the shadow side of sensitivity. Your growth lies in emotional discernment, knowing what's yours to carry and what isn't. You don't need to take on people's storms to guide them. Your calm is already medicine. You are the mystic Scorpio, intuitive, artistic, and spiritually awake. You remind the world that depth doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers through understanding. Your gift isn't control or confrontation, it's connection, the quiet alchemy of turning empathy into light. Third decan Scorpio, the empath. If you're a third decan Scorpio, born between November 12th and November 21st, your soul carries the wisdom of the moon, the planet of emotion, memory, and intuition. You're the empathic Scorpio, the nurturer, the healer, the one who's learned that real strength isn't about control or transformation anymore. It's about emotional integration. You don't just feel deeply, you understand deeply. In psychology, this connects to secure emotional attachment, the ability to connect without fear of loss, to love without armor. You've traveled through Pluto's intensity and Neptune's empathy, and now you've arrived at emotional balance, sensitivity rooted in self-trust. Neuroscience explains this through the limbic system, the part of the brain that governs emotional memory and bonding. Your emotions are your internal compass. Every feeling is data, guiding you toward connection or caution. And when you listen to it consciously, your intuition becomes one of your most reliable forms of intelligence. But the moon also holds memory, and for Scorpio, that can mean remembering pain long after it's gone. You might replay moments, not out of bitterness, but to understand them. The danger is staying too long in emotional reflection, turning wisdom into nostalgia. Your growth comes when you realize that healing doesn't always mean revisiting. Sometimes it means releasing. You don't have to hold everything you've ever felt to honor its meaning. You are the empathic Scorpio, grounded, compassionate, and deeply intuitive. You've mastered the art of emotional truth. You can sit with pain without being consumed by it. You can love with depth and still remain whole. You remind the world that emotional intelligence isn't about control or sensitivity. It's about awareness. You don't just feel the world, you steady it. Scorpio teaches us that strength isn't about control, it's about consciousness. The first decan transforms pain into power, the second turns empathy into wisdom, and the third finds peace through emotional truth. Together, you prove that vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the highest form of awareness. You're the sign that walks through fire and comes out calmer. You don't just survive change, you embody it. So tell me, which Scorpio are you? The transformer, the mystic, or the empath? Drop your decan in the comments and tell me how your mind turns emotion into evolution. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to get all the updates.